Okay, we're here for our media availability with defensive coordinator Coach Sirmon. We'll go ahead and start with Trace Travers from Rivals. Trace, I think you're on mute.
I forgot how to do this. It's not like we've been doing this for a month now. But
it happens to everybody, even the best of them.
Yeah, I'm far from that. But anyhow, I wanted to ask about on Saturday. I noticed you guys playing more of a, I guess, 3-3-5 personnel, even though you were using kind of the even front in addition to an odd front. I think my memory's maybe a little shady in that part. How has it been working with kind of, limited personnel at outside linebacker, especially since you had Braxton out on Saturday?
Yeah, it would, losing a starter in that situation was less than ideal, and it forced us into some spacings that, we hadn't practiced as much. Right now, still with the limitation of the 75 cohort, we still don't have a scout team. So when we get our service reps, they're pretty precious. So we do our very best to plan with who we have that day, not really being able to forecast ahead. So just trying to do a good job of having enough of a contingency plan that we can go to plan B or plan C in the event of some unforeseen late subtractions.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Rusty Simmons from the San Francisco Chronicle.
Coach, I was just going to ask you a general one about Stanford. When you see their offense, anything that stands out particularly to you?
Well, I think the one thing that really kind of jumps out is, in normal down and distanced situations, so first, second downs, they're giving us, 6 to 7 different personnel groupings this season, which, it's quite a few. And, I think they can get big and be effective. But I think as much as anything, I think they have some skill on the outside part of the field. 4-13, St. Brown, might be coming back, and then Austin Jones, they have the ability of getting in 10, 11 personnel and being able to throw that ball around. So really what I see is just they have a pretty big menu to choose from for what they want to do on some of their normal down and distance situations.
You mentioned their receivers on the outside there, and then Austin Jones, number 20. What have you seen from their back from Jones, who I'm sure you're familiar with here in the Bay Area?
Yeah, well, we are familiar with them, and they do a nice job. I mean, very similar to what they did with McCaffrey and Bryce Love in years past. Is they're effective getting the ball in the run game, but I think where they're unique is the ability of getting them out into the pass game. They get in some situations with kind of what demands certain matchups on the outside part of the field with the size and the speed that they challenge you with, that they create some favorable good leverage matchups and good personnel matchups with the back in the pass game.
And then lastly, if I can, I was going to ask you about Cam Good. I know it's a small sample size this year, but what have you seen from him through camp and these first 2 games?
Cam's a person that really jumped out to the entire staff. I thought he played a very solid football game against Oregon State. He was productive in the run game. He did a good job, in my opinion, of defeating blocks, being productive, chasing things down. So, the way we looked at Cam, we're very proud of how he played, and he put forth a winning effort.
Thank you.
And we'll go back to Trace Travers with Rivals.
Yeah, I had a couple of players I wanted to ask about in particular. Trey Pastor got a lot more time this Saturday. What has he done to put himself in a position to play more?
Yeah, Trey, since he arrived, he's an athlete that has size. He's got pretty good range. And I think the best part of Trey right now is his eagerness to get on the field. He's been very engaged in practice, in the meeting room. So he's a player that has a bright future for us, and we're excited to find some roles for him. Depends on the kind of the game plan in some of our groupings, but he's a player that we're excited about his future, and we'd like to see him on the field.
And then also JH, he's seen a lot more time than he has in the past 2 years combined. And this week has got to be a little extra special for him since his dad played for Stanford and his uncle played for Stanford. How has he kind of done these past couple of weeks?
The staff feels that JH is, he's always shown the ability to be around the ball. Even when he was, he was first here, he showed a knack for being able to play on edges and to play blocks and to disengage. And the production of game one, I think he was involved in 10 or 11 tackles against UCLA. And he's just going to continue to get better. He's got a great sense of what we ask him to do, technique wise and within the schemes of the defense. And, we look forward to him continuing to develop and continuing to play.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to Jasper Sundin from the Daily Cow.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good. How are you, Jasper?
Not too shabby. Enjoying the holidays. So I got a couple questions. I hate to throw just stats at you because I know that's irrepresentative of the game, but you guys gave up a lot of yardage on first down, specifically 2 really long runs. Do you think that means anything? Does that mean anything to you? Is that something you plan to iron out? Do you have thoughts there?
Well, I mean, it's the 2 runs, the last series of the game, the Y Eagle throwback on the ball in the 35, and then obviously the 75-yard run got outside zone. One of the 4s got behind a block, ended up banging into the post player, and it was a crummy play. Those are things really not, we're not trying to shore up a particular down. We need to play more consistent football. And I think that's more of the message. Yeah, the numbers are the numbers. Yeah, I mean, they're, when you have an explosive play on any down and distance with a game that has 52 total snaps, the sample size is not huge and the numbers are going to look poor. But for us right now, it's about how we're going to scratch and claw and fight to put ourselves in a position to win a game. And, that's what we're most concerned about.
Hey, guys, Coach has to get off to a 11:30 meeting here shortly, so just a couple more minutes. We have to let him go. Jasper, did you have any other questions?
Yeah, I just had one follow-up. On Elijah Hicks specifically, he's adjusting to a new position. Can you talk about what kind of progression you've seen in this last 2 games?
Yeah. We love Elijah, what he brings to the team, what his skills are. But it is a significant adjustment, playing from, I call it an outside in position, from a corner to a position that encompasses the middle of the field. I think very similar to an inside linebacker with big vision versus an outside linebacker that plays everything from the sidelines in. So that is definitely something that you have to gain some game speed reps, and coming down as a post safety, taking the proper angles. Those are things that you can rep through practice, but until you're full speed and the opponent's full speed and the ball's in the air, or outside zone gets, the defense gets split in outside zone, you find it coming, right into your lap. Those are things, unfortunately, that our game experience and we will see improvement. And we love Elijah here, and we're totally behind him, and we know he's going to continue to get better.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Okay, Rusty Simmons from the Chronicle, quickly.
Coach, I was going to ask about, you guys have had 2 road games now with no fans, but at home, what kind of difference does that make for a defense when the opponents can usually affect play call communication there?
Well, there hasn't been a huge difference other than the, kind of the travel, with the COVID. The stadiums have been pumping in sound on first, second, third downs, and the explosive plays get the appropriate reaction on in the home stadiums. So it's a little bit like you're back playing. I wasn't playing Madden football, but you play Madden football and you keep the volume up and they pipe those sounds in. So it's really no different of playing video games, it feels like.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think we'll take a final question here from Joshua Morgan with Bear Insider.
Yeah, I'll just ask one real quick, Coach. What have been the main focuses on the defensive side in practice this week ahead of the big game?
Alignment, defeating blocks and getting the ball on the ground.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
worries.
Guys, I think we're good. We'll let Coach head off to his 11:30 meeting. Thanks. a
I'd
lot
rather
for your
stay here
time.
and do this than go over the schedule for the weekend on what time we have to do all the testing and all that. So anyway, hey, you guys have a great holiday and you guys stay safe, and we'll see you next week.
That's it, Coach. Have a good
Good,
one.
Coach. Thank
Take
you.
care, coach.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.